welcome to another episode of Jaxon Talks Everybody with me, your host, Jaxon Stone. And before I get started, I would like to just put out a little trigger warning, disclaimer. This episode specifically will focus heavy on suicide and some things I've learned in my journey about it and what kind of things we can do to help. So if that's a heavy topic for you right now, I suggest maybe listening to this at a later date. Once again, this podcast is not a substitute for therapy or counseling or real professional help. This podcast is built on being a bridge to help, making you feel a little bit more comfortable, less alone in the things that you go through daily, less alone in how you're feeling, and give you the courage and the strength in the sense of this community and feel connected enough to go and seek the help that you deserve, because you deserve to feel safe, healthy, happy in your own body, in your own mind. So that's just a little bit of that before we start this episode. And in this very moment, if you're feeling like you're struggling or things are really heavy, please reach out to someone, call the crisis or call the suicide prevention lifeline, or text the crisis text line, or just reach out to a friend. Or if you're listening to this and you feel like you've had an intuition that one of your people, your friends, or your loved ones, or your coworkers, or your colleagues may be struggling, reach out to them, see how they're doing. I'm telling you that the smallest gestures, a text, a smile, a hug, whatever the case may be, they go the longest way, and they really do have the ability to save someone's life. So that's just a little tidbit before we get this episode rolling, but it's going to be kind of about that subject in the same vein as all that. Pretty heavy podcast or episode this week for me in general, and I'll get into that as we get deeper into this episode. But if you're still with me now, thank you for watching. I'm grateful for you and this community and the way we've connected. And if you watch the show on a regular basis, please reach out to me and tell me what you like and what you don't like, and let's create a better show together, because I want to hear from the people who watch this show, because I appreciate you and I adore you. So thank you. But today is September 2nd, 2020, which means that we are now 2 days in to World Suicide Prevention Month. A very important month, a very challenging month, and a very crucial month. I'm filming this episode specifically today because I want this episode to come out in October, when Suicide Prevention Month is officially over, because I want to keep the conversation going specifically about this subject and what we can do and how we play a role in our everyday lives in preventing suicide. And so I wanted to film it here. Today is also a very special day because of what's happening, or what tomorrow means to me, which I'll get into in a little bit. But I wanted to film this episode specifically today so that when it comes out in October, we can continue talking about this very important thing, and we can keep the conversation going month to month all year round. So, but basically the idea behind World Suicide Prevention Month is just to bring awareness to how to the mental health crisis that's going on, not only in this country but in the world, and it's especially noticeable now during COVID-19. And so this month is even more important than it was before, because we have to make sure that mental health is or must be part of the COVID-19 relief, because it's been playing a taxing, unprecedented role on our mental health, and our loneliness and our anxiety and the uncertainty and all of this stuff piling up, and the deaths and the social injustice and all these things just are taking a toll on our mental health, and we're grieving on a constant basis about something. And also maybe things are going well in your life and you're enjoying things, and it's hard to kind of balance all the stuff that's going on in the world and how bad it is, but also being able to find joy and peace and happiness in the things that are going well in your life, and seeing that light at the end of the tunnel, seeing the bright side, and knowing that we can get through this. But specifically this month is very important to shed light on how prevalent suicide is in our community and in our lives, and how many people are choosing to end their own life, and what role each individual person has and can play in that, in preventing that, in helping that, in being there for someone. So that's kind of what this episode is about. It won't be a long episode, because I'm feeling like I'm feeling a little bit emotionally drained at the moment. But I will answer the question how I always start this podcast. How am I really? I'm okay. The first few days of September, especially leading into Labor Day, are really, really hard. I mean, if you're unaware, I lost my sister to suicide on September 3rd, 2018. So today is September 2nd, so tomorrow will be the 2-year anniversary of her passing. And so the first week specifically of September is really hard, and I'm feeling it right now. I'm feeling emotionally kind of just beat down, because in one hand, this month of World Suicide Prevention Month is so important. It's important for me to speak about my experiences. It's important to share my story so that maybe I can save one family from the pain and the trauma that me and my family have been going through. But on the other hand, I need a break. And so I'm going to say what I have to say on this episode. That's why I'm filming it today, here, now, so that when it comes out in October and people watch it, I can be more there and present to have some dialogue about the episode, and hopefully we can continue the conversation going about mental health and mental health issues and suicide. So it goes both ways, but I'm going to do this episode today. I'm going to go for a walk after this, even though it's a bit rainy here in Dallas. I'm going to go for a walk, try to clear my head, focus on some things, and then tomorrow I'm probably going to make a quick post on social media about what's going on, and then I'm going to take a little bit of break, a couple-day break. But then in the first week, starting on September 6th, we got some really cool stuff that I've been planning for You Are Loved to drop that week, because that's specifically from September 6th to September 12th is National Suicide Prevention Week. So that's like the big week for putting out the tools and tips and resources and expert advice and how you can be there, and the warning signs and the triggers and all these things that are very valuable information for people who want to check in on themselves and check in on their loved ones. But specifically with You Are Loved, we'll be dropping some stuff, a very cool video that I've been working on with Ben, and a t-shirt that I've had planned for a little bit. So hopefully when you watch this episode, you've either seen that video and watched that and know that you are loved, or you've seen the t-shirt, which is also cool. If you choose to purchase that, obviously 100% of the proceeds go to mental health awareness, education, and research, like all the shirts on yourlove.com or yourlovelife.com, excuse me. And so, yeah, it's just like it's a tough week. It's a tough month, but it's a very important month. And, I don't know. Yeah. So how am I? I'm feeling heavy. I'm feeling very heavy at the moment. I've got a lot of different emotions that I'm feeling. Sadness for sure. But also a bit of like I don't know the word exactly, maybe like relief, that during these kinds of months you can see so many people who care, like so many people who care about, their role of what they can play in preventing suicide, how many people care about the mental health, how many people are sharing their stories, how many people are vulnerable. So I don't know if relief is the right word. I don't really know what word is to describe what I'm feeling, but there's like some sort of sense of like oneness, I guess, with like other people that I've never met before, like going through the same stuff as me, and feeling like sadness over, not being able to share these moments with my sister, but also like a sense of oneness with the people who are feeling the same way, or, attempted suicide and survived, and like are living this beautiful life now because they overcame and they adjusted and they saw the light and they got the help and they believed in hope, and all these, magnificent things that we can do with the life that we were given. And, I saw this Instagram caption the other day from Deepak Chopra. And he said, the only sane response to existence is gratitude. And I feel like that was like the most well put, like phrasing or caption about gratitude, because I talk about that a lot on this podcast, and it can be very hard to see the good things in your life when you're feeling really down and sad. But that's why it's important to write those things down and see them and visualize them and know that you have food and you have friends and you have a place to stay, or you have a car, whatever the case may be. You have your health, you have your mind, you have the ability to change your life, which you should be grateful for. You're still alive, which is a beautiful, beautiful thing. So I thought that was it touched me in a moment. It touched me in a moment where I feel like I really needed it. And I feel like we always get those signs and we always get those things that we need in the moments where we're most feeling like we need the sign. And so if you're watching this and you've continued through, this is your sign. This is your sign to keep going, to press ahead, to not give up, to see the light, to get the help, to have the hope, like all these things. And especially coming from me, being a suicide loss survivor, I don't want anyone to ever have to go through that. I think obviously that goes without saying, but I want to make it clear, and I do deep down feel like my sister's like fucking super proud of me, and I know that and I feel that. And majority of the time I'm really a happy person. Like I'm really happy with like the way things are going in my life and how things are progressing, and the education I've gotten over the last few years and the steps I've made with You Are Loved and all these like really magnificent things, finding my purpose in life and pursuing passions, and I'm really excited about that, but it still doesn't, outweigh the fact that I would take my sister back at any moment, any time, any second of every day. She was my best friend. She was an incredible person with light and love and a fantastic smile, and she was brilliant. And I miss her. I miss her a lot. And I'm doing this, because of her story, and I don't want anyone to feel the same pain that she felt. I don't want anyone to be in that dark spot where they feel like it's the only answer. I want people to know that there's resources available, there's help available, there's people that love you and care for you and want to see you thrive and live and grow and expand and change and make mistakes and get your heart broken and all these things that are part of life that you can only experience if you're alive. And that's really my message. This isn't going to be a long podcast today because I don't know that I can handle a long episode today, but I wanted to at least come on here the day before, the anniversary of my sister's passing and talk to you guys so that when this episode comes out, we can have some more open and honest conversation about these kinds of things, and we can continue the conversation about suicide and mental health and all the things that really matter in life. Our friends, our family, feeling loved, happiness, the important stuff, what goes on the inside, how we feel on the inward, not what we're doing or buying or having on the external world, but inside of our bodies, inside of our minds, feeling a sense of oneness and connectedness with the people around us, and building those relationships and feeling love and giving love and those things like that. But I do, yeah. I was gonna share a few stats on suicide and how really fucking prevalent it is, and how just a lot of stuff. But I'm not feeling that. I don't think that's the right approach here. I think me just more talking to you guys from my heart right now is what's needed and what's important. So what we can do as people, we have a role every day. We have a role every day in our lives to prevent suicide. And it's not like you have to be an expert. You don't have to be a counselor or therapist or anything. All you have to do is be there, and really, really be there for the people that are struggling. It's a text, it's a phone call, it's a hangout, it's a hug, it's a how are you really? It's being able to sit down in the dark with them and listen and just hear them, and being semi-aware of the resources available so that you can be that bridge to help. You can be that one that says, okay, here's what you need, I got you. Let's get you this help, let's get you better. And also sharing your own experiences and your own stories have so much power, because there's so much power in shared experiences. So much. And we band together through that. We feel less alone through that. And I talked in a previous episode about sharing our story and who to share with, and kind of some of those things that are important when sharing our story, because not everyone deserves our story, because it takes vulnerability and courage, and you don't know how people are going to react. But when you're in that safe place with that someone who really needs it, sharing your own experiences can lift them up, because they know that you've maybe felt the same way or had some of the same resulting emotions, so you guys can band together and share in that experience and build strength and build power and build courage together, and have the ability to write your own chapter, the next chapter. Because there is a misconception about suicide that if you ask someone directly, are you thinking about taking your own life? Have you thought about suicide? That will not increase their chance of suicide, because for the most part, they've already thought about that. They've already had suicidal ideation. It's already going on in their mind. And now you're asking a direct question. It easily opens that up. It opens up the conversation much more. And so if they say no, cool, dig a little deeper, find out, what's been going on, why they're feeling the way they're feeling, if they're comfortable and ready to share. If they say yes, then you have to be prepared to know what to do next. So educating ourselves is huge, right? It gives us the tools and the power to have the knowledge of what to do. It's good for ourselves, so we can check in on ourselves to know the signs and symptoms and warnings and trigger points of our own mind and own body, right? But it also helps in dealing and helping and supporting a loved one who may be going through something that we don't know about until we ask, or until we ask how they're doing, or until we sit there in the dark with them without judgment and just listening and validating and appreciating the words that they're saying and the story that they're sharing. So ask direct questions. That's very important when dealing with suicide. Ask, are you thinking about taking your own life? Have you thought about it? These questions open up a chain of conversation that can really lead down deep into the root of what's going on, and then we can go from there in terms of what help is needed. Where do we go from here? Who do we call? Do we get a therapist? Or whatever the case may be, case by case situation, person by person situation, but then we have a better understanding of what's going on, and that person feels appreciated. They feel heard. Their voice feels heard. They don't feel alone because you're there, right there, sitting in the dark with them, holding their hand, being there for them. Not an expert, not this mental health guru or whatever. You're just a friend there in the dark, helping, supporting, loving, validating, and appreciating. And that's what we need. That's how we play a role in our lives every single day, is just being there. We're checking in on our friends and we're asking, how are you doing really? And being open for that answer and being willing to receive that answer and being willing to share our own, kind of thoughts and feelings and emotions about what's going on, So that's what I think. I'm not an expert by any means either, obviously. I'm still taking classes and webinars and listening to podcasts every day about this stuff. I'm trying to learn from the brightest mental health minds and doctors on the planet, just so I can have a better understanding and educate myself further for the people that I speak to in my life, for You Are Loved, for these things that I'm trying to accomplish. But I'm not a therapist. I'm not a counselor. I'm not a doctor. I'm just a guy who cares. I'm just a guy who lost his sister tragically, painfully, and want no one ever to ever have to feel that way, the way that she did and the way I do, or the way my parents do, because it's fucking sucks. And this work that I'm doing has really helped me and helped save my life and give purpose and meaning to it. And I just really appreciate the people who, have found value in the things that I say or have followed me on Twitter. I wish I could have a personal conversation with every single person that follows me or retweets me or likes my stuff. I would love to have a personal conversation with you and thank you and talk to you and get to know you. That's all I want, is personal connection with you guys that actually follow my stuff, because you don't have to. And I'd appreciate it. I don't put this information out because I feel like for likes or for comments but I feel like the information I'm putting out is valuable, and so it helps me, right, in my journey, and it's resonated with me in my journey. Everything I talk about is things that I'm currently going through and need to be reminded of, and that's why I put them out. And so every person that's liked or commented or retweeted or followed, I want to have a personal conversation with you because I value and I appreciate your support, and it means the world to me, and I thank you for that. And so just with them closing thoughts here, we have a role every day. We can play a role in bettering our mental health, in preventing suicide, in taking care of our friends and checking in on our friends. Just, if I have any advice, I don't know if advice is the right word, but just some from my heart, man, it's life is so precious, and it really can be taken away from us in an instant. And I think more people are realizing that, especially with all the fucking shit we've gone through in 2020, and it's so precious. We gotta cherish every moment. Say I love you more. Do the things that make you happy. Chase your dreams. Find joy in every moment. Fill your life with gratitude and compassion. Make memories, create experiences, have those moments that you're never gonna forget. Live your life. Be you. Accept you. Love you. And people will adjust to that, and they'll accept and they'll love you for you. Because you're beautiful, and your life matters, and your story matters, and you're important. And I thank you for supporting me. It's helped more than you know. Your support has helped more than you know. You watching these episodes or whatever you do has helped more than you know. And I'm going to sign off for today. I'm going to go for a walk. my sister, probably go visit her, talk to her, see what she's been up to, tell her what I've been up to. And remember, you are loved, and I love you, and I'm grateful for you. And thanks for watching this episode. And I'll see you guys later. Thank you.